Austin Hedges joins us. I'm looking at the numbers that Austin has worn in his career. He's never been 20. He's been 17 and 18, which means we could use him in one of our future features. Austin, good morning, man. How you doing?
Good morning. Doing great. How are you guys?
We're great. Tell us how camp is going. Veteran guy, this is old hat for you, but a new manager in town. How's Cleveland camp?
Our camp's been awesome. I mean, the amount of feel that Voter has for a first-year manager is unbelievable. I mean, obviously, like, we knew he was going to be doing a good job, but sometimes, that first year you probably want to, do a lot, and he's just been so cool, under control, letting the players play, letting the coaches coach, and the vibe in our camp in Goodyear has been outstanding so far.
Has he been partial to the catcher?
I mean, obviously, we got our manager as a catcher, our bench coach a catcher. We got Sandy Alomar. Everything's kind of tailored to the catcher. So I know me and Bo Naylor have been having a fun camp so far. We
talked to JT Realmuto earlier today, Austin. We were talking to him about workload and the balance between getting to know new guys on the staff and getting enough work in and not getting too much work in, because you guys get so beat up during the regular season. How do you strike the right balance?
I mean, it's something you definitely got to learn, through experience. Luckily I've been in enough spring trainings now where I kind of understand what my body needs. But then, based off your role, it can be different. If you're trying to make the club, you got to come into camp day one, like, ready to go. Like pitchers, catchers, like, you got to be like, game, like, in season form. Where like maybe like a guy like myself might have the luxury of being able to, work my way into timing or get my body right. But at this point of camp, it's definitely about workload management. So we're feeling good on opening day and not necessarily making sure spring training is the most important thing.
Hey, you guys got one of the best young pitching staffs in baseball. I'm curious. You get a chance to see these guys now, as we got a board up on these young guys, all homegrown, really. What is the bullpens like? And I'm curious about seeing, an all-star like Shane Bieber, and you look at Tristan McKenzie's stuff. Just how electric are they? You've been around long enough. Tell us a little bit how they compare to the rest of the league.
Yeah, I mean, the strength of Cleveland has been pitching for a long time, and the way that this organization develops pitching is, it's either as good as anybody in the league or the best in the league, in my opinion. Day one of camp for me, I'm coming in, I'm watching 25 guys throw bullpens. And it didn't matter if it was Shane or Tristan or Tanner. It was like guys that I hadn't even heard of yet, and their bullpens are clean, crisp. They're commanding the ball. We're not necessarily an organization that's just only obsessed with the metrics on pitches. Like, I feel like we teach guys how to pitch and how to command the ball, which is kind of a lost art in the game today. And the luxury for a catcher like myself, I got at least 5 dudes that are starters in this organization that aren't just nasty, but they can pitch, they can command the ball. And, with Shane and Tristan up top doing that, to kind of show some of the younger guys how to do it, it should be one of our main strengths this season.
Hey, I'm curious about this too, Austin, because this is your 10th year in the big leagues, right? You've been through spring trainings now for a long time. We hear fun stories about spring training, even dating back to your San Diego days. Who are some of the guys who have kept camp light? And to the degree that you can share, because not all of it's shareable, tell us some fun stuff, whether it's pranks, whether it's competitions, what happens that would make us smile as fans?
I'll tell you what, my first few years in big league camp, I had Bud Black as a manager, and Bud runs an absolutely hilarious camp. So in pre-day meetings, usually around 9 o'clock, he brings everybody together, and it's time to introduce a rookie. And Bud can really think, like, he can improvise real quick. And so, each day it was like, okay, we're going to meet this rookie or this rookie. So I remember sitting there just like terrified, like, oh my gosh, like, this guy's going to call on me. I'm going to have to talk in front of, all these veteran teammates. And when I'd introduced myself, he decided that myself and a couple other young guys were going to go to a rodeo with all the vets. And they were going to bring a camera crew. They're going to film everything. So I'm like, I think I'm maybe 20, 21 years old. And we had Houston Street at the time. And Streeter decks me out in like full, like Johnny Cash, like outfit. I'm talking like hat, boots, jacket. Like, I swear this guy had to spend a few $1,000s on this outfit. But me and some of the rookies were dressed up, looking like idiots, going to this rodeo, and they filmed the whole thing. And then the next day in our pregame meeting, showed basically like the highlight reel of us just being idiots out there. And it's just a fun thing to keep spring training light.
That's excellent.
No,
That's
that is
excellent.
so
That's not
good.
surprising, by the way, that Buddy would keep a camp light like that.
So good.
Yeah.
Hey, so I don't want to put the cart before the horse, as they would say. But you're talking about when you're done someday, you'd like to manage. I heard that said. So now you're around Stephen Voigt. Stephen was out 2 years ago. You played against him yourself. And so I'm curious how you're kind of looking at this year. You talked about Bud Black. You've been around a lot of different managers. How do you see your path to managing someday?
I mean, I'd like to play this game as long as I can. I mean, if I can play till I'm 40, 41, who knows? Like, I feel like I got a lot of time left in this game physically. And I feel like, each year I learn a little bit more. And, honestly, each year that a team gives me the opportunity to put on a big league jersey, I'm going to try and do that as long as I can. Because to me, it's the greatest honor in the world just to be a big leaguer. But throughout my journey, I've had a lot of failure, had some really cool successes. And if I can at some point be able to pass that along, and that would be a dream come true for me. But I love baseball. I want to be a lifer, whether it's managing, whether it's bench coach, whether it's catching coach. I love this game. I want to stay in this game forever. And, nothing makes me happier than being in a clubhouse with the boys and going out and trying to win ball games.
That is an excellent answer. And I know you do have a lot more left in the tank. But I can see someday you run the club. I can see that.
I appreciate that.
Hey, Austin, we appreciate the visit today, man. Thanks for taking some time with us. Enjoy the rest of camp and good year, and best of luck in 2024.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.